Good morning, Facebook, Instagram family. Thank you guys for coming on board this morning, joining me for another episode of Back to the World, my brother and my sister's keeper, Billionaires Roundtable Conference, and Sonetquity Bookclub. Thank you guys for coming on board. I know I haven't been on in a while, man. Maybe you all missed me. I missed y'all. I've just been kind of busy working on some other projects and everything, man. And we got a lot. We got a lot on our plate. And what happens is, man, it's just like with anything else. You try on a bunch of things, for size, and until you find something that fits. So before I get into all of that, I like to say that the music that you're listening to in the background, we don't own the rights to. But if you have any comments, questions, or anything that you care to share, hit me in the boxes down below, and we'll dialogue, man. Oftentimes, the way we get to an answer or to the root of a situation, and it's usually by having a Q&A. So again, all these things are things that we're working on, man. We're trying to get our format more structured and organized, and we're hooking up with some folk that pretty much have all this in line. They have all this in line. So we can have some sort of uniformity. That's what we need. We need more of a uniform structure, and so we can get our message together, and it'll be more. It would have more continuity, if you will. All right. But first and foremost, man, before we get started, I just have a few PSAs rather, public service announcements, man. So again, we're asking you to purchase your batana oil. All right. This is 100% raw batana oil. It seems to be the craze, man, but this stuff has been around for centuries, and Dr. Sebi even spoke on it, even recommended it before his death. This is a phenomenal and amazing hair care product, but it's not just for hair. Batana oil comes from the jungles of Honduras, and it's pretty much the only place you can get it, and it comes from the batana tree. Okay, this is what the Hondurans been using for centuries to groom their hair, condition their hair, and give their hair growth. And not only that, batana oil is not just good for your hair and the growth, right? It's good for eczema, psoriasis, and alopecia. There are cancer patients that are using this, and their hair is growing. I have many before and after pictures. If you go to my website, if you go to our link and our timeline, you will see many of the before and after pictures of me giving examples and the before and afters of batana oil. Okay, and this is it smells like coffee initially in the jar, but when you take it and rub it, when you take a fingerful and you rub it in your hands together, and the moisture and the heat from your temperature, all right, will cause it to smoothen out and liquefies. And you just place it in your hair like a conditioner, all right? And then just watch the effects. I've been using it like right here on my beard, and now my beard is started. I'm getting hair in places where I've never had hair before. So this is a product that truly works. This is our 2-ounce size. Okay, this particular size sells for $19.99 plus shipping and handling. All right. Then we have the 4-ounce size, which I don't have on hand right now. Our 4-ounce size sells for $29.99. There's no plus shipping and handling. There's no expiration date on this product, man. I've had some that I've had for 4 and 5 years, and just sitting there not knowing that it was going to be the craze and the rage that it is right now. But this is the batana oil. and it's 100% raw, right? Here, this is the botana oil in its liquefied form, right? And this is what I use on the beard. All right, this is a beard oil, and it's made with 100% botana oil, right? And it has the essential oil to keep it with this soft flowing condition here. But the beard oil and botana oil in its natural hard form, okay? Go to our website at www.gloosuds.com. That's glowsuds.com. Go to our website. There are many other products that we have there, but this is where you will get your 100% pure botana oil. Now, let me tell you another thing about it when we're talking about economics, because I definitely want to address that, and that's what I'm talking about this morning. We have created what's called a drop shipping program. With our drop shipping program, it's basically word of mouth. You will advertise or promote botana oil on your social media page, right? And you will advertise the prices of it, the whole bit. So whoever's your followers or your friends, man, this is what I'm going to talk about this morning. We got to learn how to leverage what we have in our bag, in our wheelhouse. So with all of your followers, man, you might have 100 people, you might have 1,000 people that's interested in botana oil. Okay. Well, those people aren't seeing my pages. They aren't seeing my advertisement. They're not seeing my posts talking about botana oil. Well, they will order their product from you. They will send you their funds. These are your followers, so you already have a relationship with them. They will send the funds to you, plus shipping and handling, to order botana oil, either the 2 ounce or the 4 ounce, right? Once you receive their funds, their address, and their order, you will deduct $3 from each jar that's sold through you, okay? You will forward to me the difference, their address, and the quantity of their order. We will do the drop shipping for you. So if you have 1,000 people, man, and this is hypothetically, but if you had 1,000 people that's ordering botana oil from you, you will have made $3,000. And you're probably saying, man, well, you're getting all the money, man, but I'm doing all the work. I'm giving you an opportunity to earn $3 per jar. And if you're good and your people and your customers are coming back, and they will come back to you, you will continue to make that money because the product, I stand by it. The product speaks for itself. It's just like if you're having a barbershop or a hair salon. You don't get new customers every week. You make your money from return customers. So if you have 1,000 customers that purchase this product from you and you've earned $3,000, well, if the universe is aligned properly, you will earn another $3,000 the following month as well, because they're going to come back. All right. Now that's our drop shipping program. But we also have what's called an affiliate program. And hold on just a second while I get this to show you. Okay. With our affiliate program, right? With our affiliate program, this is how this works. Let's say you say, well, I have these many customers, man. I could be selling this product directly to them, and I won't have to deal with the drop shipping, and I can make more than just $3. Okay, so here's what you do: you start your own product. You get your containers, right? You place your labels. Okay, you can't see mine here. You place your labels on your product. You give your product the name. Everyone will come to your site and they will order their product from you, right? We will supply you the product. We will be your distributor. All right? This is 1 liter. This is what 1 liter looks like, ladies and gentlemen. This is 1 liter. It has 34 ounces, right? So you will purchase your liters from us. You will fill your jars with your name, and you will market your product as your product, whatever name you decide to give it. So we will be your plug, if you will. Now, go to our website or DM me or inbox me if you want to know more about the affiliate program and purchasing a liter at a time. All right? This is what a liter of botana oil looks like. This is what a liter of botana oil looks like. So DM me if you're interested. All right? So, that's PSA number 1. Number 2, we want to talk about our online bookstore and publishing company. We're Sonetquity Publishing Company, right? Visit our website. Visit our online store, all right, at www.bookshop.org/shop/Sonetquity. If you just go to the link in my bio, and that way you can see it. You have the link to our store. And what we do is this, right? You can purchase all of your reading materials from our bookstore. You can purchase all of your reading materials and everything from our bookstore. We have audio, we have braille, we have ebook, and we have hard copies and what have you, print copies rather. So that is on Facebook, we're Sonetquity Bookclub. On Instagram, we're Sonetquity Bookclub. YouTube, we're Sonetquity Bookclub. So visit any of our sites or go directly to our online bookstore at www.bookshop.org/shop/Sonetquity. And what I'm trying to do, I am a member of an organization called Build Brothers Up, right? This is a great opportunity. You know, I love what they're doing, right? Build Brothers Up. It's about men, black men mainly, helping to uplift one another. And you know, folk come on and they talk about different things and what they're doing the whole bit. Well, see, I want to be an asset to the group. But as I said again, you have to recognize and realize what it is that you have in your wheelhouse. And this particular group, it has over 2,000 or 3,000 members. It has over 3,000 members. And that's wonderful that you've accumulated and gathered 3,000 voices and 3,000 individuals. But then the question is, and this is not a criticism, this is a critique. So you have 3,000 members. What are you doing with those 3,000 members, ladies and gentlemen? That becomes the question. How are you monetizing? How are you building with these 3,000 members? Okay? So now, with Sonetquity Bookclub, let me tell you how this works, right? Now, we join forces and we bring everyone together. And at the same time, we turn that program now into a book club. And just like a barbershop and a hair salon, every month, if you're a member of a book club, you must purchase a book of the month, the following month. So now, when you do this, you're strengthening the body of the company and its infrastructure. Now we're able to do more publishing of your books, manuscripts that may be turned into movies, different programs and what have you that would lower the cost of publication. All right. Now we can come together and as a community, and we can build together. That's where I'm going with this. I find myself somewhat getting ahead of what I want to talk about, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. And everything that I'm discussing with you now about unification. First and foremost, we need a gathering place. And what brothers building brothers and brothers building up men, what it is, it's a gathering place, right? It's bringing everybody together for one. Obviously, you have something in common. We're all focused on something that pretty much enlightens us. And sometimes we all know what we want, but we don't know how to achieve it. And that's where dialogue and everything comes in, right? So this morning, what I want to share, there's a rate, obviously if you follow me, you see that I smoke cigars. And good morning, Brother Nash. I see Brother Nash is on. See if I can't bring Brother Nash on. This brother here has been like a mentor to me. I'm going to try to bring you on, brother. I'm trying to tap it, Brother Nash. It's not doing anything. Okay, well, I don't want to screw everything up here. But anyway, Brother Nash has been, I've admired this brother ever since the first day I moved to Houston, Texas. And, man, you've been an inspiration to me, little do you know. And I've had nothing but respect for you, man, almost 40 years now. Okay? This is a black entrepreneur in the city of Houston, Texas, man. I mean, this guy has been a pioneer in the concert promotions, in the ticket industry, black arts throughout the community. He had what we definitely needed, and we need to get back to a shoe repair empire. Okay? See, everybody can't afford, when you pay $2,000 and $3,000 for these shoes these days, I don't know what these youngsters doing. They're probably wearing them until they wear them out and then throw them away. But, being a shoe cobbler, man, is a lost art, and it's definitely needed. And it's needed more today than it was yesterday. Again, these are things that I want to talk about. So, as I said, if you guys have followed me, you know that part of my pastime, in between time, is, are cigars. I've been smoking cigars for over, how old am I? I've been smoking cigars now for over 40 plus years. And, even in the penal system, we used to get cigars. And, I smoked them inside the system the whole bit. It relaxes me. It gives me a time to ponder my thoughts, organize my thoughts, structure my thoughts. And a cigar lounge, these days, they're a lot like a barbershop. Some of them are like bars and nightclubs, but, that's another story. But what usually happens is a bunch of men get together, they sit down and they smoke, and then they share their thoughts, and they share some of their ideas, the whole bit. So just recently, I was in a cigar lounge, and someone brought up the subject about DEI, right? And how the President Trump, wants to do away with DEI. And you say, what is DEI, if you will? DEI is what it stands for. It stands for diversity, equality.
Hello, Moto.
Stands for diversity, equality. Excuse my phone, y'all. Okay. Diversity, equality, and inclusion. Right? DEI. Diversity, equality, inclusion. What that basically means is it's when a business are seeking or offering contracts for businesses, and when they haven't been giving the opportunity, and when they haven't been giving opportunities to minority, to black, brown, yellow, Asian, black, brown, Asians, or whatever, any minority, females, black females, and they want to somewhat balance the playing field. So what do? They will go. Let me give you a perfect example. Let me give you a simple example, just the NFL, if you will. Okay. At one point or another, you hardly had any black head coaches in football. All right, nary any. So what happens is you had many black football players. I mean, many black ex-football players and what have you that were great coaches, but they could never get a head coach job. Okay. So what happens now? You're having more and more black men that are applying for head coaching jobs. But at the time, you only have like 30 plus teams or what have you. If that many, I may be thinking basketball, but nevertheless, though, it's the same with basketball. So what happened was someone sued, right? Because they were saying that black gentlemen weren't getting an opportunity, or black coaches that may have been on the roster for a team, may have been a defensive back coach, may have been the offensive line coach, may have been the linebacking coach, or what have you, or the coordinator, but they weren't getting the head coaching jobs, and they qualified more. They probably played longer, or they've coached longer, and they have a lot of victories or what have you under their belt, but they weren't getting the jobs. So somebody sued, right? So when they sued, they were showing a lot of inequality and a prejudice or a discriminatory factor or manner. So what happened when they sued, the committee got together and they devised a plan and a format. And with that format, it meant that whenever you're holding interviews for a head coach, you have to at least, out of 5 coaches, either 1 or 2 has to be black or Hispanic or of some other minority ethnicity. Okay, because you have some that are of Asian descent and what have you, right? So now this becomes fair and equal practice. All right, they're saying there's no deception there. So they adhered to this for many years. But here's what started to happen though. See, because after you do something so much, man, you find a way to get around it. And that's what evolution is. That's what morphing into certain things are. All right, look at the automobile, the Transformers or whatever. I don't mean to digress, but my point is this. So what the owners start doing is this. In order for them to get through the interviewing process, they would get 4 white coaches or potential coaches, and they would get 1 black, some 2. They would interview all of these coaches, but what they would do, they would interview the black coach sometimes first, right? And that what that does is they've reached that level or that barrier, if you will, all right? Because now they've qualified, they've met the criteria, they've interviewed that black coach, right? So now with the next 4 coaches, they're going to figure out which one of them that they really want. And then when they choose one of those coaches, no one can come in and say that they didn't give a black coach a fair opportunity, because they don't know what went on in that room, and you don't know what goes on in the mind of men. You know, he could take that to his grave. He wanted to hire coach number 4, right? All the while, from the very beginning. But in order to get through that scenario, to get through that legal barrier, he had to at least interview 1 black coach. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is DEI. And it's just like with the EEOC, Equal Opportunity Employment. If there are 6 or 7 people that are trying to get a job, but they must interview someone black, and then they must hire, or they must have diversity, which is the D in DEI. They must have diversity. So now they would hire this black. But nobody's going to hire someone just simply because they're black. And, you know, you're in a business for making money. And you're in the business of increasing your bottom line. You're not just going to hire somebody that's black. So most of the blacks that are going to be hired, in many instances, they're going to be more qualified than all the other interviewees. Right? So now many companies started exercising this particular situation, and they formed a different program while there was diversity, equality, and inclusionary programs, to whereas now when they're giving government government contracts, if you will, let's say Ford Motors is looking for a company to supply them auto parts. Well, there are 7 companies that are lined up, and they must go through the same interviewing process, this vetting process that they went through trying to hire a head coach in the NFL. So it's not because this black company is the cheapest. It's because they're black, first and foremost. But this guy has a great business model and a business plan. Right? Well, now that's going to be taken away. It's in the courts right now, and the courts are waiting to rule on it. What you've seen Target, Costco, but not Costco. You've seen Target, maybe Costco, Target, Walmart, Ford Motors, Harley Davidson, John Deere. Many of these companies, they have excluded their DEI programs, right? Because the president has put pressure on them, and he shut down a program that the government aren't going to give any government contracts based on this. They're saying that everything must be meritorious. Everybody must be on equal footing. But you see, if you start thinking that you're equal, then you're already behind the 8 ball. Many brothers and sisters have relied on these contracts in building their businesses. Don't get me wrong. There are many, many businesses, man, that has flourished from getting government contracts with Ford, contracts with Walmart for selling their products inside their stores. Now they're not going to be doing this. And in the cigar lounge, a couple of the gentlemen was basically saying that, and they were attorneys. And they were like, man, don't worry about this, man. We're going to get through this, because you know what? This has been going on. It's been in the courts for a while. But you haven't had a president like Trump that's pushing it. All of this started And it got what happened? It grew legs when this attorney, and I can't think of his name right now, Jewish guy, he sued the universities, the colleges and the universities when they were giving scholarships and what have you to minorities. And they were saying that these blacks that were entered into Harvard, it was mainly Harvard though, when they was accepted into Harvard, Yale, and what have you, they were saying that there were other students that was just as qualified that should have gotten it. And they were saying that based on that it was prejudice or racist that they were granting these scholarships to minorities. Well, first of all, we're going to get past the racist scenario because anybody black or what have you could never be racist. So if you're saying that the program was racist, it was only because it was whites that were in charge, right? Because when you are in charge of a person's economical, educational, and financial, but that's economical. If a person is in charge of all these things and the demographics in which you live, then that person is the racist. So if that program was racist, it was only because it was implemented by those who had the power. So now Harvard, Princeton, and what have you, they can't just give scholarships or programs or what have you to blacks, if you will. Because now the gay, the Hispanic, the Asians, everyone, now they want to come in and come on to the Civil Rights Bill. But see, this is what I'm saying. The attorney that argued this in the beginning, all he did was study the law, and he looked for little gaps. He looked for little holes in the law, and he provided an argument that the Supreme Court agreed upon. So now what happens is you build from that argument, right? So that argument is settled with the colleges. So now someone says that, well, hey, if that can work for the colleges and they can't offer scholarships and what have you to blacks, to just blacks alone, and they're saying that's the only way that they were granted entrance into the college, then we can take that outside of the educational realm and we can take it into the economic and business realm. So you can't award a job to someone just because they're black, and you can't grant programs and contracts to different corporations. You can't do that with a black simply because they're black. It has to be fair all the way across the board. It could never be fair. Well, these lawyers were basically saying that, it's something that we got to go to court and we got to fight the whole nine, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with fighting. But this is what I've been saying since day one. They're saying that this is not going to be a problem. If you can't read the tea leaves and see where they're trying to go with this, then you're not as smart as I've given you credit for. To know something exists and not acknowledge it, man, that's a fool's paradise. And what's happening is this. Now, if a company just doesn't want anybody black working for their company, or whatever the situation may be, because they may be uncomfortable for whatever reason, or just may not like blacks, there's nothing that can be done about it. Because all they have to say is that I chose the person that I deemed the most qualified. I chose the person that I deemed would fit in better with the nucleus that we have. And the nucleus that they have may be all white. And see, birds of a feather flock together because you feel more comfortable with those that look like you and sound like you and think like you. Right? Yeah, many people that's working with blacks, and they've been working with blacks for quite some time. But initially, they weren't comfortable with working around blacks. They didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to react. But after working around blacks, they see that, hey, man, we won't bite you. And it was a pleasant environment. But now for anyone that's thinking outside of that today, they say, hey, you know what? I don't even want to have to think about it. I don't even want to have to deal with it. So now I don't have to hire anybody black. You see, sometimes all it takes is a quick, swift kick in the ass to open your eyes. So what this should open our eyes to are the facts that we need to unify and mobilize ASAP. See, these folk can't find out that what they're doing would force us to come together, would force us to unify, and would make us more powerful than we were before this DEI bullshit. But many don't see it that way. You know, I was just talking to a friend of mine earlier this morning, and you know, one thing about prison, man, I talk about it, and I talk about it because I see it from a totally different perspective. And a lot of people look at it and they see the punishment, they see the abuse, they see the racism and the whole bit. All of that exists. But they don't see the other things that exist. Right? And see, prison, what I saw there, I saw the other side of hell. Right? We know all these things that I'm talking about, the whole bit. Then they're supposed to they're supposed to program you and what's that other term? Rehabilitate. They're supposed to rehabilitate you. A lot of that is bullshit is going out the door because a lot of monies are being taken out of the prison systems. And sometimes, man, that's some of the worst conditions that you can imagine. But let me tell you what I saw and what I recognized with my third eye, right? See, prison represents society with all of its warts and all of its roses, right? There's a lot to be learned because what happens is all of the frills are taken away and everything is raw, right? If you eat a cake, if you eat a pie, if you eat ice cream, if you drink a soda, right? You taste the sugar that's a part of the ingredients, right? Well, in prison, you're tasting the actual sugar. Everything is pure. And I'm saying that in a metaphoric sense. Everything is pure. So when you see racism in prison, there's no cut card on it, man. Ain't nobody pretending like they like you, man. Motherfucker don't like you. Excuse my language. They don't like you. They're showing you they don't like you. Right? Of course, you got some that know how to play the game. But when you have a trained eye, you see all of this. So when you see someone that likes you, it's pure. They like you. And I don't mean in no queer sense, but I'm talking about when you see somebody that fucks with you. They really, really kick it with you. You see that. When violence come about, nobody's standing around talking about it. They're going to do it. If a guy's running a store, you're going to see the economy works at its finest. If a guy's running a barbershop, you're going to see the economy works at its finest. When you're seeing gambling there, it's going to work the way gambling's supposed to work. When you see extortion, you're going to see extortion works the way it's supposed to work. And if it's not a part of you or you're not a part of it, mind your business. Right? So, The inequality is very alive and kicking. That is equal is very alive and kicking. Brotherhood, you can have two guys from Louisiana. One's from the north and one from the south, and they don't like each other. But if there becomes a situation where their backs have been pushed against the wall, these two brothers are going to unite. And they're going to come out of that situation unscathed. Or if not, they would have realized now that they have an ally. Okay? So what's happening now with DEI and with the college with the college case that went down to whereas you can't offer scholarships to minorities or just blacks or whatever. See, this is what you call a chitlin moment. This is what you call a gumbo moment. See, because back in those days, if there was a pig that was roasted, everybody else ate the quality meats. Everybody else ate the rump roast, the shanks, the ham. Blacks got the guts, right? When you talk about oxtails and what have you, all these were scraps. Gumbo was made for everything that was in and around the swamps. Things that the powers that be did not eat. Good morning. Things that the powers that be did not eat, right? So now look, oxtails, a delicacy. Gumbo, it's all around the world, man. It's one of the favorite winter soups, the feel-good soup, right? Chitlins now, for most, I don't eat it, but for most people, chitlins, a delicacy. Nutria rats from France. They're a delicacy. You can't get into a restaurant for the wealthy or the whites even that's in line, that's trying to witness, trying to taste, trying to sample this food. See, we were forced to eat those table scraps. So with our creativity, we made it what it is today. So now let's fast forward. Today, our backs are being forced to the walls. Survival is of the essence. We need to survive. If you can't see the forest for the trees, and if you can't come together because of this, man, I'm telling you, you're still asleep, man. And you're doomed to fail. So now is the time. This organization or this group that I'm a part of, you have 3,000 members. What are you going to do with them? You're just going to have them on your page so you can get free, you can get a lot of likes and a couple of gifts from Facebook or Instagram. You have a voice. You've brought all of these people together. How can we make it work for us? So I'm telling all the brothers on those sites, man, that I'm a member of, brothers helping brothers, brothers building brothers, brothers building up brothers. Let's implement a plan. Let's implement a business. Out of 3,000 people, I'm sure there are many opportunities that we can circulate each of these individuals as our own customers, as our own clientele, and we reciprocate. And as we do this and we go through the channels, we are going to continue to earn. Think about it many, many years ago, man, when blacks weren't getting contracts. When you weren't getting government contracts for aviation company or defense contract, but your family still ate. I have a friend, man, his father, man, he worked as a janitor, then started his own janitorial business. sent him and his sibling through college. And now they are the pillars of the community, the whole bit. And believe it or not, man, I'm just going to be honest with you. There was a time where the brother didn't even appreciate what his father did for a living. Right now, at this day and age, man, everybody's not going to get on social media, man, and knock it out the park. Everybody's not going to do that, bro. Everybody's not going to get on social media, man, and they're going to sell 1 million t-shirts. Everybody's not going to come on, man, and have a hair care and beard product and be able to market it and get thousands and thousands or millions of people to buy it. You know, that is an outlier, man. That is the unicorn. These are the programs that are knocked out the park, man. Everybody out of all 3,000 of us on this social media, on that platform, everybody's not going to have that luck. And it could be the business model that you have. But that's okay. Because back in the day, everybody in our community, man, the barber, the shoe repairman, the TV repairman, the man that owned the corner store that we call the bodega now, the person that owned the car wash, they were able to sustain their family. And right now, that's what we need to do. We need to sustain. It's not about making $1 million and coming on social media and showing that we're wearing super, super expensive watches. Man, I used to wear all of these watches that these guys are talking about on the deal here. And I love watches, right? But when I start hearing all the names of all these exclusive watches now and all these young guys are wearing it, people will say, man, all you're doing is hating because you can't afford it. That's not it. They've taken away the cachet. They've taken away the exclusivity. There's this little young guy on social media named Lil King. The little guy got to be 11 years old. He got to be 11. Now he's talking about a paddock on his wrist. And he got a paddock on his wrist and the entire watch is paved in diamond. Let me tell you something, man. Most wealthy, rich white men, wealthy mainly, they would never wear such a watch. And see, that watch is gaudy. And when Patek Philippe designed that watch, they designed that watch for Arabs, oil moguls from the Middle East, because they're ostentatious to a degree. No disrespect to our brothers, to my Muslim brothers and what have you. But this watch was for ostentatiousness, right? So now you got an 11-year-old guy got on a $12,000, $13,000 watch. So now all I want to wear is a Timex, man. Guys are wearing APs, Pateks, Cartiers, Richard Mille Chapards. All these are Baguette. All these are watches that were worn by the rich and famous. Now, anybody that gets a hustle the whole nine, it's like, you know what? This is the hustle kit. This is the starter kit. This lets everybody know that I have arrived. See, you're supposed to make the product, not the product makes you. I saw another deal the other day, man. A guy had to be at least over 40. He had his entire face tattooed with Louis Vuitton. I said his name had to have been Lawrence Vincent. LV. The man's entire forehead, all around his face, in his chest, and a big LV in the center of his head. Why? Why? But with that 3,000 that are all a part of this group, if you will, amongst ourselves, we can find a way to sustain each and every one of us and each and every one of our families. So I'm asking any of you brothers that's out there, man, and you're looking to join forces with someone that has a like-mindedness of what unification is all about, and something that we all can do and not take us away from our daily routines that we're already going through. Because see, a barber in Texas, it does him no good advertising in the city of Cincinnati. Why? But if he has 25 customers that comes to him every week, that's going to take care of his business. That's going to take care of his bills. That's going to keep his head above water. Sometimes that's all we need. Sometimes that's all we need. And we always say, man, I don't shop with black businesses the whole bit. Well, why do you go to a black business for a black haircut? If you gave these other businesses an opportunity, and see, we wonder why our people charge so much. That's because, man, they're struggling. If we can get them in rotation, every week, and he can almost be guaranteed on that customer, and he can be guaranteed that that customer's kids will come to his proprietorship. Man, it'll make waking up, going into his shop a joy, a pleasure every day. All of these houses that are blighted in our community, if all of us come together, let's say it's 40 houses in that community, right? And 10 are blighted. They're abandoned. But they're not on the foreclosures list. So why don't we research to find out? 9 times out of 10, we already know who owns these houses. So why don't we come together as a unit and we buy these houses, all 10 of them? All right? And we either deal with gentrification or we let gentrification deal with us. But now if you've purchased these 10 houses and you've remodeled these houses, oftentimes now you're not going to have anyone that looks like you that may be able to afford these houses. So at that point, my man, just by disqualification, you may have to sell that house to the other parties. But now you got a lot of young people that's making a lot of money these days, man. They're going to college, got great jobs, starting, these social media, internet businesses. They might want to come in and buy the property. That's fine. Now you're having a vetting process. So see, now because a white person can afford that house and you choose not to sell it to them, they can't say that you were racist. But you can't say that I'm only selling to blacks. That's a part of the DEI dilemma as well. This sister has a program, right? And this is how it all started. Well, she said she was a black minority business where she gave loans to minority women and blacks. And she was sued. So see, if you want to get over that hurdle, you do what the football owners did. When they interviewed the black guy first, got him out the way, and then they hired the one that they wanted that looked like them. So what do is this. You don't say black own or black nothing or black only. You don't say that. You just go through the process and you let them qualify. You let them submit their application or what have you. And if you don't want nobody, and I know I'm giving you $1 million worth of game, but if you don't want nobody white or whatever to purchase that property, then you don't have to sell it to them. And they can't take you to court for choosing Bobby Brown. They can't take you to court because why? They created the scenario. You felt that Bobby Brown fits better within that community because he looks like everyone there, and there wouldn't be an uproar and that person wouldn't be subject to harm or violence or whatever the situation may be. But you don't have to answer that. All you have to simply say is this: Bobby Brown was my choice instead of George White. And that's the end of it. Right? So you take They got 40 houses in that community. 10 of them are blighted and abandoned. You other people in that community, you other 30, you come together and you buy these 10 houses. You put your monies together and you renovate. You buy the houses and then you renovate them. When you sell that house, you would have purchased this house and renovated it for pennies on a dollar. And now you can sell that house based on the demographics of that community and what the market value of that home is. And now, let's say you fixed that house up. You bought that house and you fixed it up, and it cost you $60,000 or $70,000. And now, when that house is appraised for $200,000. Now you guys split that, and you do this 10 times. Now you have money to venture out and do some of the other things that you want to do, the whole bit. This shit is not rocket science, man. It's application. It's application. And it's continuity. All you have to do is apply the program. And you continue it. And you move it forward. And now you own your community. Now you control who comes in. You control who stays in. And now you bring in other stores. And if there's communities all throughout the country like this, and if there's 3,000 of us that's a part of this program on social media, then we replicate this in all of our other inner cities. And now we have a nucleus. We have a place for us to meet. And now we go out and we do our thing. So I'm asking the brothers, and I think one of the brothers is Marcus. Man, I forget Marcus's last name at this point. But Marcus is the administrator of this program, of this group. And Marcus, I'm asking you, brother, inbox me. I have a very, very, very simple plan. It doesn't take, as I said, this is not rocket science. It's about unification. It's about understanding. And it's about implementation. And that's all we have to do. Okay? Before I go again, ladies and gentlemen, go to our website to purchase your 100% raw Batana oil at www.gloos. No, I take that back. I apologize. That's www.gloos.com. That's GLOSUDS. The W was taken and the GLO was taken as well. So we added 2 O's. But you don't say GLOSUDS. It's GLOSUDS. All right? Or inbox me and I'll give you the link. All right? Or check the link in my bio. Now, for our bookstore, our online bookstore, visit our website. Visit our store, not the website. Visit our store at bookshop.org/shop/Sonetquity and purchase all of your reading needs, man. All right? And, man, let's continue to meet. Let's continue to come on board, man, and just, voice our ideas. And we're not asking everybody to go out and climb Mount Everest. It's a simple process. All it takes is unity. And as I said again, man, in prison, everything that was successful, it worked because of unification. It worked because we all were forced into a condition and we decided to come together. And none of this is going to work, and we're not going to get our heads out of the noose, man. We're not going to deal with all this racism and this prejudice, right? Until we wake up and recognize and we decide to come together. Thank you guys for coming on board, man. I enjoyed you. You guys go out and have a great Monday. It's cloudy and ugly, and but that's okay, man. We're blessed to be here. Thank you guys. All right? Peace.